Hi, I wanted to show you how to use the inspector tools in a browser because for web designers it's one of the tools that we use quite a lot. I think the best ones are made from the Mozilla Developer Network, like MDN. And actually when I Google CSS or HTML questions, I always ask directly like align center elements MDN. So I know I'm going to Mozilla Developer Network first instead of otherwise you get sort of the W3 consortium pages that they're good as well, but I think that the MDN is organized a little bit better with the code. And I also think that the Firefox browser has the best web tools, and how to access here I show you. Let's say I'm just taking a website that has a relatively simple code because I built it. So you can go with the tools and then web developer tools, and there's a shortcut that you just have to, I think it's best to remember because you use it quite a lot. It's option+I for inspector, and it opens this little window on the side. You can dock it onto other left, right, or as a separate window, depending on how big your screen is, for example. But for example, now I use this tool on the top left here, and I hover over the elements, and let's say I want to find out what font did I use here. So I can see it's an H3. This wraps this line of text here. And I can see that the font size, it has no hyphens, the line height, the line spacing, and then I have another rule here with all the H3s. I'm using the typeface Vrinit, which is also, I can, in this window here, I can see the layout, which is here is the box model. You can see how much paddings and this has, after all of the different rules that this element is applied to. Also what kind of fonts, or if there's some JavaScript and animation on this. I can even play around with this and see what it looks like when it's in different weights. But here I have only loaded 2 weights, so it doesn't really tell me. But one thing I can see is it's not a variable font because I have those 1 to 900 weight, which is kind of the common way. 400 is sort of the regular weight, and 700 is supposed to be like a bold weight. So this Vrinit font is loaded, and I can see it's on in my minimized style sheet. So I generated a style sheet that's only 1 line at the very end of writing this code. It's not really great for developers because I would have to unminify it to see actually all the different rules in a line, because right now it just tells me it's on line 3, but it's like a very, very long line of code, so it would be harder for me to find it. But if I unminify it and load it, then I could see actually on which line this H3 CSS code is at, and I can change it there. Or I can even play around with it here. If I want to make it bigger, I can say what would it look like when I make it at 150% of my base font size, or at 180% of my base font size, or do I want to make the line height maybe larger? I can type this in. These changes won't really take any effects, but I can copy paste this out and then put it back into the CSS sheet and save it and upload it onto the server again. So I think these inspector tools we work with a lot, just to look at other people's code too and how they solved things, and we can copy paste their how they did it. And Chrome also has them. They are a little bit less here. There are a few less tools, like they don't have the CSS grids, for example, has in Firefox. You can actually look at the grid. Let me see if I can even find it. The page has a grid here. I don't know if I can see it that quickly. Definitely the page navigation. I think I do have a grid on here. Can't find it. Set branding. It's just flex. Sorry. I shouldn't have done that because it's not really type related anyway, because you have to kind of like do a little bit detective work to find each of the rules in here. I'd like to, oh here, like this one, the site header here is displaying as a grid, so I can actually click it on. You can see actually literally the grid that it has, like 1 FR and 1.3 FR. It's split into one fraction and then 1 1/3 of a fraction here. But if you have more complicated grids, this can be quite helpful to figure out how your page is organized. And Chrome doesn't have that. Safari's tools, I think, are not really considered very web developer friendly. I don't really know about Edge or PC browsers. I recommend get Firefox, has like the best tools. So just inspector shortcut is Option Command I. Super helpful tool that you'll be using a lot if you work in web. Okay, ciao.